Hello everyone, Prince here. Many people on my channel actually want to know more about the specification of my car, of original. I want to talk about it as well actually, but I'm so busy with my work. Well, finally there's a short holiday, so I can talk a little bit about it in detail. I love talk about these specs. It would help you guys understand more about my car, as well as help people who decided to buy it to get some idea of at least my opinions about this. So let us start with the dimensions. This car is 4 meters and 765 millimeters long, 1 meter and 1.8 meters width, and slightly more than 1.5 meters high. Actually, when I compare it with the hybrid version, it is slightly higher. Yeah, the EV version is slightly higher, so technically slightly less aerodynamic. Another reason I think it is slightly higher is because there's an entire battery pack below, but the hybrid version also have a battery pack, so I don't know. The wheelbase is 2.7 meters, slightly more than 2.7 meters, so around 2.72 meters. This is actually a quite long wheelbase with a turning radius of 5.5 meters. Funny enough, when I compare these specifications with the Tesla Model 3, it is nearly identical, yeah. The Tesla Model 3 also is this dimension, although I think some part is slightly larger and some part is slightly smaller, but they are on par. But when I look at the car, luckily I had a chance, a Tesla Model 3 just parked right next to me when I went to a governmental agency to do some paperwork. I didn't take the picture, but if looking from the front end, it looks even smaller. I say that the Model 3 looks even smaller. I think it's just the design language difference. The original dragon face looks really like a samurai, and Tesla's Model 3's front face looks more like a ninja, so different taste, different style. Well, the tires are slightly different. Mine is a flagship model. So I have 8 inches rims, and the tires are 235, 45 R18. But all other models, like the sub-premium and the base trims, they are 215, 55 R17. So when you look at that, not only their tires, they have a smaller rim, but also the tires are thinner. So technically my car would have the best performance effect, but it's pretty inefficient, I would say, if cruising on the highway. That's why its energy consumption is highest, honestly. But one thing interesting is my tires. My tires are those Continental Eco Contact 6. Actually, when I check it out, they're summer tires, but they are very, very premium level tires. They have one thing I like most is they're puncture proof. So if even a nail goes into it, it will self-heal to prevent the tire from leaking out air instantly. Other models don't have. They use, I think, Chinese-made tires, but they're still okay. If you use it for a daily basis, it's still okay. Who seldom get a puncture, right? The only thing is none of them have a spare tire. So when you look at that, when you say, hey, what would happen if I run over a nail? The only thing you can do is just get it towed. If the tires cannot self-heal, right? Another thing is about the total mass of the vehicle. So this is another difference. I would say this is another difference. Also, the weight of the vehicle. So my vehicle is the heaviest. It's a heavy car. It's 1.8 tons. Very heavy. I would say it's heavier even than the Tesla Model 3. For the premium model, the 500 kilometer range model, it's 1.6 tons, around 1.6 tons. So 200 kilograms lighter than my car. And then the base trim is even lighter. Oh no, I made a mistake. The 500 kilometer model is actually 1.65 tons, so it's that heavy, and the base trim is 1580 kilograms, so even lighter. The big difference here is exactly the battery pack. I would talk it a little bit later in the powertrain part, but their carrying mass at least are all the same. All these cars have a carrying capacity of 375 kilograms, so that's slightly higher than my Nissan Sentra. My Nissan Sentra is at 350 kilograms, but these cars are 25 kilograms more. I would say, talking about a car which is this size larger, 25 kilograms of carrying capacity is minuscule. There's no big thing about it. The interesting part is actually the suspension. You see, I said my car is heavier, so I don't know whether the suspension is different from the specification. Looks like they are the same. They all have independent suspension and multi-link at the rear, independent suspension at the front. So I don't see the difference. It might be like the tuning is a little bit different, but trust me when I talk about a Chinese car, Chinese car have the worst suspension. I dare say even more terrible than those Korean cars. Sorry, Korean cars, but yeah. Chinese cars really don't have good suspension. Okay, now dive into the powertrain. I love to talk about the powertrain because that's my research area. So all these motors are permanent magnet synchronized motors. So the efficient type, I think they're very similar as those used on Tesla Model 3. But based on their recommendation and their advertising, I think the design of them are more like those electric motors in ID4. They use those flat copper wire motors. I think technically they are more efficient and they have a better space usage for the stator. My car have a continuous power output of 65 kilowatt and a peak power output of 135 kilowatt. Trust me, I actually floored my car several times. It can reach 145 kilowatt for a very short burst. But that's only my model, the flagship. All other vehicles have power output of 35 kilowatt nominal and 100 kilowatt peak. So actually this causes a difference, and that's the biggest difference why I choose the flagship. So the other cars all have a designed maximum speed of 130 kilometers per hour, so 130 kph. But my car have a maximum design speed of 150 kph. So technically my car has a higher maximum speed. If you run a lot of highways and your highway path is pretty free, you can run at 120, 128, 130 very easily. Then I really recommend you to choose the top model because you always want to be safe than sorry, right? Talking about the speed, we talk about the maximum speed, and then how about the acceleration? Well, the acceleration is kindly dreadful, trust me. The 0 to 50 speed. Notice I'm talking about the 0 to 50 speed, not the 0 to 100 speed. They use this to trick people. So 0-50 speed for the base models, and even to the premium model, since they are all 100 kilowatt electric motors, they have 0-50 speed of 5.5 seconds. 0-50. I suspect the 0-100 time would be more than 10 seconds. And for the flagship model, it's 4 seconds. This is a little bit controversial because I start to feel the weakness after 110. Before that, especially 60, especially the speed starting from 20 all the way to 80, I would say, especially at 60 there, when I want to merge into interstate and highway. It's pretty powerful. It's still way more powerful than fossil car. So trust me, you have enough power. Especially you guys want to buy a car in China, that's the case. Talking about the speed acceleration, we also need to talk about the deceleration. All these tires are like a disc brakes, so at least they are very good. I never tested the braking distance, but based on my experience, it's still quite okay. Again, the suspension is a weakness. The suspension has way more weakness compared with the tires. Yeah. Well, after changing out the battery pack of my camera and put it onto the charger, let's talk about the battery pack of my car. Yeah, mine is a flagship, so it has the biggest battery pack. That's why it's heavy. So it's 71.7 kilowatt hour. Yeah, combined with a more powerful motor and a more powerful drive. Yeah, you understand that it would be the heaviest car, no doubt. And the 500 kilometer version is have a 57 kilowatt hour battery pack. I would say if you do not mind the maximum speed, if you drive not that fast, you don't need that level of power, then 57 kilowatt hour version should be more than enough for you. So 500 kilometers of range NEDC, that's more than enough. If you're only driving in the city, then 400 kilometer version probably is okay for you. 47.5 kilowatt hour of energy. Yeah. If you drive mostly in the city, you seldom go on long distance road trips or long distance travels, that's more than enough. I choose the flagship just one because I would love to enjoy the flagship edition. Yeah. Okay, if we talk about batteries, we need to talk about charging speed. So all of these cars have an onboard charger of 7 kilowatt or 32 amps. That's still the sad part of these Chinese-made cars. I think even like Xpeng and Neo, they have the single-phase 32 amp charger, which is 7 kilowatt, which is, in my opinion, too slow. They really should follow up Tesla's pursuit on, I think it's 13 kilowatt or 14 kilowatt version, 3-phase, 32 amp, OBC. So it can charge the car a lot faster. I would say you see 7 kilowatt versus 14 kilowatt, you can charge double the speed if you want. This is slow charging, bear in mind. That means 2 hours of charging can double your range. And most of the case, even if you slow charge at home and you are in a rush, you will have enough range to go. You do not need to go to a fast charger. Yeah. Let me cut in really quick. There is one thing I get annoyed when I get this car. So the mobile charger come with the car is very, very slow. The mobile charger come with the car is only 8 kilowatt. I know like people who do not understand will charge it on will get the maximum safety if they want to charge the car at 8 amp or say 1.6 kilowatt. But really that is too slow to charge. Like to charge 60% of the car would take 27 hours if it's on the slow charger. So really, come on, BYD, give us something which is 16 amps. I wish at least it's 16 amps, right? That would help us a lot more compared with dealing with these 8 amp super slow charger. Yeah, wait, 8 amp is nearly a water kettle, so what the heck are you thinking about? Right, BYD, come on. If you want to build our dreams, give us at least 16 amp UMC. Yeah, but for DC fast charging, again, this is something dreadful, and I wish BYD could really make an improvement on it. So the 30% to 80% SOC, which means charge 50% of the battery pack, would take 30 minutes. And this is regardless of the capacity. This is regardless of the energy content of the battery pack. Hello. Yeah, you see him. So yeah, I would not let him in. So I think the difference is at the voltage, and all these cells are 135 amp hour. So I actually get a hand on one of the cells. So I love to make a video about the disassembly. I do have already disassembled it, but my colleagues are still doing some detailed disassembly and research work on it, so I will wait until they finish. Yeah, come on, let's get back to the fast charge. I would say, like, for this fast charge, it is why I say it's dreadful, because nowadays I'm in the field and I know many cars, they want to fast charge from 8% to 80% in something like 18 minutes. They won't have the capability. It doesn't mean the battery pack would be able to do, the charger would be able to do that, not the battery pack. The battery pack must be able to do that, but the charger does not necessarily to be able to do that, but the car should be ready for the future. Yeah, how about that? And actually, when I look at the charging port on my car, that fast charge port, the maximum current input is only 200 amps through it. So when you talk about 135 amp hour for the battery, it's not on par even with 2Cs. It can never reach that speed. I suspect 200 amps, the maximum current, times 8 times 80%, which means 160 amps probably is the maximum continuous current this car would take to charge. And I actually did some fast charge. It's okay. It's like the car would be ready more than I am, because I'm going to have lunch. I'm going to wandering, killing my time in a shop, but still I feel a little bit uncomfortable there. Yeah, I wish the fast charge capability would be better, so if I'm on the highway, I'm in a rush. Yeah, you get my understanding. Now, talk about the interiors. The interiors is actually, I would dare say the interior is premium. It's a little bit controversial compare the Tesla Model 3 and the car I have, original. So yeah, the only thing is what I'm seeking is I think people slightly older would love original more than a Tesla. So I love Tesla's ultra simplicity, but some people don't. Enough talk about that. So I have power seats both on the driver and passenger side. For other cars, they have the power seats, power adjustable seats on the driver side. The passenger side is manual, but I seldom see any front passenger use the power adjustment. Exclude me. Yeah, I'm specific, but they are. And then all of them have power folding power folded mirrors, so power windows and power folded mirrors. I love that feature, especially in China, because people tend to park very close to each other. And if my mirror's folded, it's way less likely for my mirrors to get damaged, scraped, hit, blocked, etc. During careless drivers. And they never leave a note, trust me, they never leave a note. Mom's Call of Duty. So let's continue. The top two models would have 360 cameras. Yeah, the top two models would have 360 cameras. That is very easy for me to manage tight turns, space, annoying parkers, yeah, those things. And then also, the top two tiers also have the best screen, the display, the center console, also the infotainment system. I love the one on the Tesla, which is 15 inches. Mine is 12.8 inches, slightly smaller. Yeah, it can turn, but I don't care about whether it can turn or not. I don't like turning. I wish it's not turning, but what should I say, right? Oh, again, and the top two models ever have built-in dash cams. Yeah, the built-in dash cam, I would dare say, is a very useful function. This means I need one less thing on my windshield. Although the quality of the videos is not on par with those very good dash cams, I'm deciding whether I should buy a new one just to enjoy the, yeah, just to shoot the road scenery if I want to make road trip videos. Yeah, well, another thing is, another thing is actually the speakers. Yes, that's where the flagship and all other cars start to differ. So my car has the direct 10 speaker system. It has 10 speakers with 2 subwoofers, one at the front and one at the rear. So the audio quality should be the most premium, although trust me, my dual ears can barely feel it. For all that I know is I just say, yeah, what's the matter about that? Come on. The other ones all have a 6 speaker system. Like, again, I said 6 speaker is more than enough for me. So that's why I think if it's not because of the power issue, I would choose a 500 kilometer version. Probably not a 600 kilometer version. That's way more than enough for me, for my parents in the future. Don't remember the Tesla Model 3's long range edition. I think right now it's also around 540 kilometers of range, so should be enough. Yeah, the other thing is seated heats. Heated seats, seated heats. Seated heats, yeah. So for me and only for the premium models, not the premium model, only for the flagship, all seats are heated. Yeah, no question, all seats are heated. But for all other versions, no, there's no heated seats. And I can control them right from the center screen. That's just easy. Okay, now after all those long stuff, I'm going to switch to this side. So I want to talk a little bit about the safety part. All of these cars have passive safety like ABS, ESP, traction control. They have auto hold, vehicle dynamic control, hill start, and automatic automatic, say, the EBP, so electronic parking brake, TPMS. TPMS is a must now in China. Yeah, there's nothing fancy about those. But what I want to say is about the part which is active safety. I actually encountered in car accident in my friend's Mercedes-Benz just 2 months ago. Yeah, we hit the front car at 40 kilometers per hour, while the front car is nearly standstill. I really think if there's active safety there, at least we can mitigate that. At least we can mitigate that if we not completely avoid it. So I say for a car, I wish to have active safety, and certainly my car and as well as the premium model has it. So ACC, all-speed adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, both for vehicles and for passengers. Also, I never tried it on a human flesh. So, and emergency braking assist. Yeah, actually, it has force triggered several times in one of the tunnels, and I realized it's always that place. I probably should make a video about that in the future. And I really wish they can OTA it out, but I don't know whether BYD have the OTA capability of that. They are very subpar on the software side compared with Tesla and XPeng, those kind of things. And yeah, so lane keep assist. I hate drifting into lanes. I know many Chinese drivers, they actually have that. They play with their cell phones while they drive and drift into lanes. Again, I said I honk them back, but it is never a good thing. Or blind spot warning, lane merge assist, lane crossing warning, and also both front rear. Well, it have all these say ultrasonic sensors surrounded, so it can do the warning all-wheel, and auto high beam, yes. So that's the active part, and now let's talk about one thing I pretty like. One thing I pretty like, and only the premium model have, is VTOL. So VTOL, right? not that VTOL. I'm talking about the VTOL, which is vehicle to line. So what it is it can through the slow charger, it can actually discharge power out. So I think it's maximum at 16 amps. It can output 16 amps. So that's around 12 kilowatt. No problem. No. Sorry, not 12 kilowatt. Oh, Jesus. That's 3.5 kilowatt of power output. So I can charge my parents' electric scooter. If I'm go on a road trip, I can actually put on a electric grill. Yeah, I can grill stuff on it using my car's electricity, and all I need is go to a charging station to charge it up. Right? Easy. So yeah, that would be pretty interesting, I dare say. And not only that, I'm talking about because the battery pack, the reason they dare to do this is because the battery pack have a lifetime warranty on it. The cells inside have a lifetime warranty, which means if the battery degrades too much, they will replace it out for free for you. Although I know for LFP batteries I can last at least 10 years, and at that moment, yeah, it is more likely for me to change out that vehicle than just ask them to replace the battery and continue drive it. Probably I will. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's all. All other things are pretty standard between this car and other cars. There's nothing else I would like to say. Yeah, that's all the specifications I would like to talk about. How do you feel about it? Comment below, like which edition you love most. Just tell me. Tell me, like if you buy, which one you want to buy. Yeah, if I don't tell you the price, how do you buy them, right? Okay, let me talk about the premium model I have is the best one and also the most expensive one. It costs 166. Oh yeah, it costs 166,800 Chinese yuan. Or I dare say, pull out my calculator. 166,800 divided by 5, that's 33,360 Canadian rubles. And then for the, I say for most people that 500 kilometer premium edition is enough. So that's 149,800 Chinese yuan, or approximately 30,000 Canadian dollars. So you judge it. So it's just like that. And there's a 500 kilometer standard and a 400 kilometer standard. So they are even cheaper. So that 500 kilometer one is 139,800, which means around 28,000 Canadian dollars, and the cheapest one is 129,800, which means that's just slightly less than 26,000 Canadian dollars, approximately. These are all approximations, so yeah. And remember, in China, because EVs have incentives, this price I talked about is already after the incentive, and I do not need to pay for tax. There is no tax for them, tax-free. So what I told you is how much you need to pay to get this car, to get the title. Well, you still need to pay for insurance and license registration, but nothing. You need to pay that for every car. And talking about the license plate, you know my license plate number, right? Yeah. And now, since I told you the price as well, so 400 kilometer, 500 kilometer, and 600 kilometer, I will let you judge